Hello and welcome back to another episode. Indeed, welcome back to a new year. Welcome to a new year. 2017 is upon us. 2016 is dead and gone. And hopefully you guys have had a wonderful Christmas, New Year. I have, and today I'm going to be continuing something which I said I would start on Christmas, and that is playing Zelda Skyward Sword. But just very quickly, I just want to report on, I suppose, Christmas itself. In terms of presents, we all get very excited, and probably my highlight of the year came from my lovely wife, and that was The Art of Alien Isolation. This book is utterly gorgeous, and also tied in with another game that I wanted to play a lot of this Christmas. I got to play some of it, but it's not entirely Christmassy, is it? So I'll be playing more of it in the weeks to come. But this book, mwah, so gorgeous. And then this morning, of all mornings, very, very thematic, I received in the post something which a friend said that they would send me, and that is, well, a Figma figure. And this is it's the Link from Skyward Sword Figma on the day that I'm playing Skyward Sword with you guys. So I've been so lucky this Christmas, New Year, and of course I'm going to be playing this guy and getting him out of his box as soon as I'm done here. Anyway, speaking of here, let's dive into Skyward Sword. Now, I've been playing on a second file, Link. I haven't actually played since 2013, but I've been playing Mac, and Mac at the moment is up to Lanarु province. What we're doing is we're trying to find where Zelda's gone to. But that's not what we're going to do today. All I want to do today is just do a little bit of exploring, basically. Have some fun. Because, I mean, in previous videos I've mentioned and I've acknowledged, as I say, how some people don't like this game. Some people think that for example, the gameplay is a bit too linear. But really, when you actually get into it, this game is just magnificent. First and foremost, the art style is just gorgeous. It takes the best of Wind Waker and marries it with the best of Twilight Princess, and what comes out of it is a refreshing, quasi-realistic, but also at the same time entirely charming world. The controls, something else that people often complain about, are actually fantastic. They are very good. So one-to-one sword control, sort of charge up a Skyward Strike. There we go. It is good. So up to the left. Come on, don't let me down. Up to the right, up to the left. There we go. And down to the right, and down to the left. Not too bad. Not perfect, but not too bad. It's good, and you can be, especially when it comes to, for example, in the second temple, there were lizard enemies. We have to be very, very tactical about how you use your sword. The controls for flying, things like the beetle, I've come to appreciate. When I first tried this back in 2013, I wasn't entirely sold, but actually it's good. Again, it just works. And I find myself, as much as I'm really looking forward to the upcoming Breath of the Wild, I find myself wondering whether or not it's going to, I'm going to miss the motion controls. I know people talk about the waggle stick and they sort of take the mick a bit, but I don't know, I like the motion controls. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the first area of the game. I just fancy, like I said, I just fancy having a bit of a muck about, really. So, again, you control the bird by sort of dipping and moving the controller like this. It's quite cool. And we're going to go and dive into the Faron Woods, I believe. Incidentally, I really have to get around to reading the manga of how Link gets his red bird. It's at the end of Hyrule Historia, and I haven't read it yet. I've read Hyrule Historia, but not the manga. Right. Oh, I need to get into that hole. There we go. I need to get into that hole, he says. Oh, let's see. Yeah, we'll land at the sealed grounds. There you go. There you go. Now, the one thing actually that I continue to dislike about this game is Fi, the spirit of the sword, the sort of the quasi-personal computer that Link has in this game, and she is very much like a computer. So if I press down on the controller, out she comes. I can ask for, let's say, advice. a hint. Recommend carrying heart replenishing items in your pouch. Thank you, Fee. And she'll come out and state the obvious, just even though someone else has just stated precisely that, and she again doesn't help this sense of being linear. But actually, the game is not. The story is quite linear. And for example, if you're dowsing for Zelda all the time, then you're going to feel as though you're being led around by your nose. But actually, for example, there is room for mucking about. There's also room for collecting items to upgrade the items that you already have. So, for example, if I go to gear, let's see, go across to. This is my collection. So there are all these random things that have turned up over. So Goddess Plume, Golden Skull, Eldin Ore. That's quite useful. All this stuff can be used to improve the items that you have. So I have an iron shield, which I have improved by going to the craftsman at the up in the sky loft. And with these guys, again, one-to-one sword play is important. You need to get your strikes right in order to chop them in half. The game is good, and especially, I mean, it's a fitting 25th anniversary title. And arguably, actually, probably in terms of content, really the biggest step up that we've had since Ocarina of Time, dare I say it? Because Twilight Princess felt like it was retreading old ground. Skyward Sword feels as though it's unapologetically forging ahead. In some ways, it can feel a little bit as though they've made some missteps. For example, Link is still in this game not voice. He doesn't have any voice acting going on. Then again, I suppose that's forgivable. He's meant to be a character who you can latch your own personality onto. And if he did all the talking, well, that would be annoying, I guess. But for example, Zelda hasn't got a voice. You have to read what she's saying, and that is a bit irritating. So some missteps, but again, I suppose we're talking about the Wii, which is a glorified GameCube, really, isn't it? Now, there we go. Now, I have to say, I must confess that my one of my favourite Zeldas, which is the Twilight Princess, I haven't completed, and it looks like I'm likely to complete this one before I complete that one. But in terms of story, this game is pulling me along with intrigue a bit more successfully than Twilight Princess did. Twilight Princess felt as though, especially when it came to Midna, as though you were sort of, people were sort of helping you begrudgingly, and you were sort of thrust into a story begrudgingly, and it was all a bit sort of, it wasn't like a noble knight's quest, But this game is actually definitely a noble knight's quest. Oh, come on. Ah! And that's the other thing as well. It's fun, in terms of the motion controls are good enough that they actually are fun. I need to come on. Concentrate. Bugger off, right. And actually, I haven't had this much fun controlling Link since, for example, I first started doing Z-locking and fighting in Ocarina of Time on the N64. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think, because I hadn't played it for a while, I started to believe the bad press that people have given this game. But it deserves your time, definitely. And it also deserves, if you have dismissed it, say if you, for example, are a Ocarina of Time fan and were a Twilight Princess fan, if you have dismissed it as a bit, for example, linear, then you should go back and take another look. For example, actually, the fact that you are collecting items is a seed of an idea, no pun intended, which is being followed through in Breath of the Wild, isn't it? In Breath of the Wild, I believe, for example, clothing will play a part. You know, if you're in a cold environment, like on a mountain, you have to wear warm clothing. Which is something, again, that they have done in previous games. You had to wear, for example, you know, water clothing, you know, to go underwater, this kind of thing. But they're taking, for example, the environment, the weather, possibly even seasons, much more seriously. Oh, no, I need bombs. Oh, such a pain. Okay, so we're going to get bombs. So yeah, this is Link. This is a Link on a journey in terms of the games as well, and I particularly appreciate the fact that you can see that they've been making strides with each title. So yeah, as I say, it's worthwhile revisiting. Anyway, where's a bird statue? I want to go back up. Back up to the sky. I could do without this stamina mechanic. This is something which I think is returning in Breath of the Wild. Okay. To the sky. To the sky! But I suppose it does stop you from doing certain things, you know, non-stop. For example, when you're climbing, it adds a little bit more, you know, tactics and peril to the experience. I do find it interesting though that this whole game is a prequel, isn't it? This is the first Legend of Zelda in terms of the official timelines. Now I know there are people who have their own timelines. There are people who dismiss that there's any sort of timeline to the Zelda games. But apparently this is where it all starts, and I find that intriguing, to say the least. Because this is the one, for example, Link's uniform, and it is a uniform, is of the Knights of Skyloft. He actually starts off as a student in the Knights School. And so it, you know, sort of answers certain questions, why the boy always wears green. Of course, we really know that the reason why the boy always wears green is because originally Miyamoto liked the idea of Peter Pan. Let's go. So, should we go temple entrance? See, in terms of Fee, there's one too many steps quite often. She's sort of like, "Are you sure? Do you want to confirm? Shall we?" Yeah, a bit irritating. But yeah, so originally, really, it's because he's sort of based on Peter Pan, but and his name Link, interestingly, comes from the fact that the first Legend of Zelda game was going to have a past and future element to it. So he was going to be linking the past and the future, and by future, I think it was going to be set sort of essentially in the 80s. You know, pick up, yes. So yeah, things like even collecting bugs is fun in this game because of the motion controls. So yeah, I think I will miss an element of motion control when it comes to the Switch. And what's interesting though is I am talking as though I'm going to get a Switch. Those of you who've watched this channel for a while now will know that I haven't been tempted by anything in the current gen systems so far, and yet the Switch, possibly because of Breath of the Wild, is tempting me. Whoop. I do love this again. It adds tactics to the battles. He can block you. You have to try and get beyond his defense. It's great. Now here, this interested me actually when I first got here. This cooking pot, because this is another feature which they've migrated to Breath of the Wild, where Link will actually be cooking meals and presumably benefiting from meals in terms of health. So maybe again they saw items and little seeds of notions when they were developing this game, which they carried through. So it'd be interesting to see again how the evolution of Zelda and the Legend of Zelda progresses. Right, so let's go and blow up that door. I want to see what's in that door. To the sky! Yes! There's also quite a lot of humour in this game. For example, when the sailcloth that Link uses there to sort of to be transported up into the sky, that you use when you're landing, is given to you by Zelda at a sort of a ceremony where she pushes you off the top of an angel statue. See, hang on, the angel statue over there, the big shadow on the island. She pushes you off the top. In a way which is just, oh, it's very funny, it's very Japanese in that sense, very sort of anime kind of sense of fun. This is a fun game. I suppose after Twilight Princess and the slight serious hangover, I guess, maybe, certainly Miyamoto seems to have had. I think his favourite Zeldas are the ones where there is a bit of an elf boy going on. After that, this is, it's pastel. It's not dark and grim. Let's see. Okay. Farron Woods entry. Yes. Double confirmation. It's not nuclear launch codes. It's just landing in a. There you go. There's the sailcloth. Just landing in a wood. Right. Let's see what's behind that door. Oh, there's a bug, actually. Let's see if I can grab that bug. Come back. Come back. Come back. Now, I know you can lock onto them, but if you lock onto these guys, you move too slowly for them. They're fast little buggers. Yes! Got him. Farron Grasshopper. Right, we've got 3 of those now. Okay, on we go. I love it. I do love it. And as I said, I'm so pleased that I actually took the time to restart this again, to restart my game, to have a sense of what I'm doing in the story, and what happened there? Blimey. And to properly dive in, Anyway. Where's that cave gone? Let's see. There it is. Hopefully aliens aren't taking over my transmission. And roll. So you can roll as well as throw, which is good. What's in there? Oh, it's a heart piece. Okay. Well, it was worth it, and hopefully it'll help my life out. There we go. Okay, plants. That's it. There we go. I also like that you can still roll into trees. My wife was watching me play this the other day, and she was like, "Why are you rolling into everything?" I was like, watch." And sometimes a rupee appears or something. She's like, "Oh, doesn't make any sense, Mark." She said, "I'm like, well, he's not meant to. Zelda, it's a computer game." To the sky. Okay, let's go back to Skyloft. Whoosh. That must give you such a sense of, that sort of that stomach dropping sensation you get when you go over a humpback bridge too quickly. He must feel like his stomach is falling through his arsehole. Right, on we go. Let's see, where should we land? There's also a lovely monster. I say that like a side quest in this game, especially in Skyloft, who is extraordinarily Japanese, and it's a very sort of samurai kind of theatre-looking monster. But again, it's just perfect for the tone of the game, perfect for the world that they've created, and you have to sort of collect gratitude crystals for him. Long story. not worth going into, I suppose. Now I'm going to show you one of my favourite characters in this game, and that's this guy. Let's see if I can. There we go. He's going to drop his. Oh, can I grab it? Yep, there we go. This guy here, he's in a shop which is flying around above Skyloft. Beedle, I think his name is. It Beedle? But to keep the whole thing in the air, look at him. He's pedaling furiously. Oh! Let's see how much this life medal is. It's probably too much for me right now. 800 rupees. Okay, I'll buy it. Oh, don't have enough rupees. Look at my face. If that's your idea of a joke, I'm not laughing. Well, he's just pedaling like a maniac. Shall we? Tell you what, I'll get rid of the dowsing. Just look. There we go. I love it. I just love it. And actually, it's this sort of this technological element of the Zelda world, which seems to be really. Oh, do you know how heavy you are? I have to pedal extra hard when you're up here. Then you have to go all without buying anything. Off with you. That's never happened to me before. Honestly. I've bought plenty from you, mister. I've sold you out of 2 things. Ugh. Anyway, the technology seems to play a big part. It looks like it's going to be based on the Seeker tribe. No, the Sheik tribe. The Sheik tribe. Or Sheikh tribe. I'm intrigued to see where that goes. You know, the whole use of what looks like sort of, you know, elements that light up a little bit, like the way the statue is glowing, but also elements which are quasi-computerish, a bit like the way Fee is. I'm intrigued, and I wonder how it's going to feel, I suppose. Because some people are going, oh, it doesn't belong in a Zelda game, but it totally does. You know, you've got that guy. You know, there's cogs there. There's, you know, clockwork. There are computers, for example, in the mining complex in this game. There's totally robots, for example, and computerized elements. So it's going to be interesting exploring that, I think, in a Zelda game. Anyway, let's go into Mac's room, into my room. Let's see, anything on the shelves? Let's go look in the wardrobe. Yay! Blue rupee! I stole it from myself. Clearly he has a stash of contraband in there that he doesn't want us to see. Sit at the desk. Actually, shall we go to sleep? Let's go to sleep for a bit. Until night. There we go. Oh. And shall we leave it there, folks? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining me here in 2017, and also thank you for your encouragement. You know, I mean, for example, when it comes to revisiting games that I love, when it comes to, I suppose, my aspiration to not get too wound up when it comes to, oh, I need, you know, I should be doing more, you know, I should be somehow enjoying this more. You guys are really great, actually, in terms of just encouraging me to just enjoy myself. And that's the whole point, because sometimes you can feel a pressure, you know, when you, for example, you know, as I say, Twilight Princess, I still haven't completed that game, but that just means that's just something else that I need to, you know, at some point enjoy. It's not something I need to definitely do, and this whole little community that sort of follows these little videos, and that sometimes you comment and we talk. It's great. It's been so wonderful this past year, and here's to, well, the year to come. Hopefully you've had a great new year, and even if you haven't, hopefully this year brings you lovely things, and lovely people, and lovely weather, he says, looking at horrible weather outside. Until next time, guys, do take care. Bye-bye.